Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into a fascinating story, a complex narrative about love, yes, but also about social standing, money, all tangled up.
Absolutely. It centers on this young woman, Beverley Farman, just starting her career, but she gets pulled into this world where, honestly, external pressures seem to dictate everything.
Yeah, wealth, family expectations, career struggles, how they all kind of shape personal happiness or maybe the lack of it.
Exactly. And we see how one person's, pragmatism or maybe desperation can completely unravel someone else's life plan. It's about these four lives: Beverly, Jeffrey Rivian, Sarah Wayne, and Franklin Lowell.
And their connections are complicated, to say the
I
least.
know. Almost every decision feels weighed down by duty or the need for money or just, being poor.
So, our mission today in this deep dive is to unpack those key moments, the decisions, the revelations that really change everything for these four.
Yeah, the glances, the things left unsaid, the accidental slip-ups. We want to look closely at how unspoken feelings, especially this long-held admiration, can be surprisingly powerful.
And also the unintended fallout from lies, even lies told for, well, what seem like good reasons. It's quite a story.
It really is. Especially how a seemingly noble lie ends up having these huge, unexpected, but ultimately kind of positive consequences.
Okay, let's start with Beverly Farman. She's our central character. In many ways, she's only 22.
Right. Very young, but clearly very skilled. She's launching her own business as a dressmaker, a high-class dressmaker and tailoress is how she advertises.
And this is right after her father died, isn't it? So there's this immediate pressure.
Exactly. The goal is clear.
Sure.
She needs to make money for the family.
Hmm.
Their modest resources, as the source puts it. That economic need is like the engine driving the plot right from the start.
And her professional skill is important here, isn't it? She's not just sewing at home.
No, not at all. The text specifically calls her a cutter. And you have to understand, in that era, in the fashion world, that was a big deal.
Okay. So what does cutter imply exactly?
It means she's got the technical expertise. She designs the patterns, controls the fit, the overall vision of the garment. It's a position of authority and skill.
And she earned this how?
2 years working in a top London fashion house. So she brings this very valuable, very real-world experience. It immediately sets her up as competent, professional,
Yeah.
maybe a bit detached from the drama she's about to walk into.
Interesting contrast. And her home life, you mentioned the family needing money. What's the dynamic there?
Well, you've got her mother, Mrs. Farman.
Mm-hmm.
She's described as this wonderful, optimistic invalid. Despite her arthritis, despite being recently widowed, she's the cheerful center of the family, a source of comfort.
The optimist.
Yes. But then there's Aunt Ellen.
And Ellen.
Aunt Ellen is the housekeeper, and she is the absolute polar opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Deeply pessimistic, deeply practical. She views everything, especially business, with suspicion.
Especially Beverly's offer of reasonable terms in the ad, right?
Oh, definitely. Aunt Ellen expects the worst, always. She's the grounding force, constantly reminding them of, well, the harsh realities. There's that great little detail about her refusing to fly a toy balloon because a bird might peck it.
And then a bird did peck it.
Exactly. So her pessimism feels, earned. It tells you that in their house, being practical means constantly bracing for disappointment.
So you have Beverly, the skilled dreamer, and Aunt Ellen, the sort of pragmatic accountant of doom.
It's a classic dynamic, isn't it? And it highlights that financial pressure, is why Beverly needs this job.
Which leads her directly to the Waynes. She gets only one really impressive reply to her ad.
Yes, from Mrs. Wayne of Huntingford Grange.
Hmm.
And Huntingford Grange sounds magnificent. Big 18th century country house, the whole package. Looks like old money stability.
Looks like it. But Aunt Ellen, ever the realist, warns Beverly straight away.
She does. She says they haven't much money and they're trying to make a great show on little. That's the key insight into the Waynes.
So it's all a facade.
Largely, yes. They're trapped. They have this expensive house, this social position to maintain, but the money's running out. There's debt, a mortgage,
Yeah.
and they have to fund their daughter Madeline's season in London.
Let's talk about that season. That wasn't just a party trip, was it?
Oh, no, not at all. For a family like the Waynes, back then, the London season was a crucial investment. It was about presenting Madeline to society so she could make a good marriage.
A marriage that could potentially save the family financially.
Precisely. Find a wealthy husband, secure the family's future through those connections. It was essential for maintaining their status, even though it cost a fortune they probably didn't have.
Which puts enormous pressure on the other daughter, Sarah, the eldest.
Exactly. Sarah's the family solution. She's engaged to Franklin Lowell. And Lowell is described pretty bluntly as almost a millionaire.
So Aunt Ellen's take is that this match is purely about the money.
Cold and clear. It's an economic necessity. Sarah seems to be going along with it, maybe resignedly. She's the financial sacrifice, in a way.
And Beverly steps into this as, what? Just the dressmaker?
Initially, yes. She's there to create the trousseau, the clothes needed to maintain the image, to secure this financially advantageous marriage for Sarah.
But Mrs. Wayne tries to haggle over her fees, even though they need her skills.
Right. She thinks Beverly's terms are rather high. But Beverly, using that London experience, negotiates cleverly. She offers a trial period, confident in her work.
So she gets the job. She's a smart operator herself.
Definitely. She knows her worth. And she's now inside this grand house, navigating this family who are desperate to keep up appearances, maybe even more than paying their bills on time.
Okay, so Beverly's got the job at the Grange, but before she even starts sewing, we know where her heart is.
Yes, and this is crucial. Her emotional life is already deeply invested elsewhere, with Geoffrey Revian.
The artist lives in a cottage nearby.
A picturesque cottage. She's apparently been devoted to him for years, since she was about 12 and a half. A really long-standing, loyal affection.
And she believes in his talent.
Absolutely, wholeheartedly. But the problem is, he's poor, chronically poor. He even said years ago he was too poor to marry anyone.
And this poverty, it was a choice, wasn't it? Something about his family?
Yeah, he's estranged from his father. His dad owns a successful drapery business in Castleton and wanted Geoffrey to join him. But Geoffrey chose art. He chose the struggle, the ideal, over the family business, and, well, the comfort that came with it.
So Beverly loves the idealist, the struggling artist, despite the lack of money.
Right. Her love has kind of idealized itself. She seems to admire his commitment to art, even while maybe questioning if she'd have made the same choice. She's loyal.
And this idealism is about to clash hard with the reality at the Waynes.
Violently. And the information comes from the most unexpected source.
Little Tony Waynes, the youngest daughter.
12 years old, incredibly talkative, and possesses this disconcerting knowledge, as the source puts it. She basically corners Beverly almost as soon as she arrives.
And just spills the beans.
Drops a huge bomb. She reveals the big family secret.
Which
Sarah doesn't want to marry Franklin Lowell at all. She's actually in love with Geoffrey Revian.
Geoffrey, Beverly's Geoffrey.
The very same. Tony is terrified that Sarah will gradually die of a broken heart if she marries Lowell. But the family needs the money for the mortgage, the bills, and crucially for Madeline's season in London. Sarah has to marry Lowell for them.
Wow. Okay, so that just throws everything into sharp relief.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It sets up the central conflict beautifully. Beverly's ideal is Geoffrey loving the poor artist. But Sarah's reality, needing the rich fiancé, stops her from being with that exact same man.
So Geoffrey is simultaneously Beverly's love interest and Sarah's impossible dream because of money.
Precisely. Sarah is forced into pragmatism by her family's needs, while Beverly has, up to now, chosen idealism.
And then Beverly meets the man himself, Franklin Lowell, the millionaire fiancé.
Yes. He gives her a lift home one day when she misses her bus. He's described as tall, dark, dynamic. She's immediately struck by his immense vitality. He's got this very confident, almost overwhelming presence.
Does he seem aware of why Sarah might be marrying him?
What's fascinating is, yes, he seems almost completely aware. He talks about it with this surprising, almost careless candor. He admits he's not exactly a romantic figure.
Which makes Beverly doubt Tony's story.
Paradoxically, yes. She thinks surely a man this frank wouldn't be marrying someone who didn't care for him at all. It muddies the waters a bit.
But then comes the big reveal, the painting.
Ah, yes. This is the pivot. The real aha moment. Lowell casually mentions he owns a painting by Geoffrey Revian.
Okay.
It's a portrait of a most charming child sitting on the grass in a blue and white frock. He says he finds it a pleasant companion.
Don't tell me.
Yep. Beverly realizes instantly she was that child. The little girl in the blue and white dress. It was the very first painting Geoffrey ever sold. Painted 8 years ago.
So this painting connects Lowell and Beverly even before they properly meet.
In this incredibly profound way. It's not just any painting. It's tied to the very origin of Beverly's feelings for Geoffrey.
And Lowell bought it.
Right.
Why?
This is the crucial part. He confesses he bought it specifically because, looking at the portrait, he thought, I'd like to know that girl. He saw something in the painting, a very sane and lovable quality, an innocence.
So he's been carrying this admiration for the idea of Beverly for 8 years without knowing who she was.
Exactly. He wouldn't sell the painting for any price. It represented something pure, something sane, maybe, in contrast to his world of high finance and complicated social games. He connected with her essence through the painting long before meeting the woman.
Okay, we need to pause on this. This completely changes how we see Lowell. He's not just the rich guy Sarah's marrying for money.
Not at all. He's presented as this unexpected romantic figure drawn to Beverly's spirit, her perceived innocence and sanity, via this piece of art.
It makes the painting almost like an emotional anchor for him.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Hmm.
It points him towards genuineness, qualities he saw in the child model, qualities that maybe Sarah, trapped by her family's need for pretense, couldn't really show him.
So his engagement to Sarah starts to look even more like a pragmatic arrangement for him, too. While this connection to the painting, to Beverly's image, was his real emotional investment.
It certainly seems that way. He admired the ideal represented by Beverly in the painting, long before the real Beverly, the skilled cutter, walked into his life. Hashtag suspicions and patronage.
Right, so now Beverly starts working at the Grange, making Sarah's wedding dresses, but she knows Tony's secret, and she knows about Lowell's connection to her own portrait. That must change how she sees things.
Absolutely. She's observing Sarah much more closely now, and she notices this strange lack of interest Sarah has in her own trousseau. The bride-to-be just seems listless, uninvolved.
Which confirms Tony's story about her being heartbroken.
It reinforces it, definitely.
Yeah.
And then comes a more concrete piece of evidence. Beverly goes to Jeffrey's studio.
Yeah.
She sees Sarah running away from the studio door looking really agitated. Sarah slams the door shut behind her.
An emotional scene, clearly.
Seems like it. Sarah tries to cover, makes up this weak excuse about discussing Jeffrey doing a portrait copy for her parents. But Beverly knows it's a lie. The atmosphere was too charged for just a business chat.
So Beverly confronts Jeffrey about it, or about working for the Waynes.
She tells him about her new job, working so close to Sarah and Jeffrey. He handles it with this amazing coolness. He avoids talking about Sarah in any detail.
Which Beverly reads as suspicious.
Totally. She knows him so well. This coolness feels like dissembling, like he's hiding something. That easy openness they always had feels gone, replaced by secrets.
And this is building tension between them. She feels like he's not being honest.
Yeah, she's starting to suspect maybe she's just the loyal friend, not the person he truly desires. And all this culminates in Jeffrey suddenly proposing to her.
Suddenly? How does it happen?
At sunset, very picturesque setting. He confesses he's been extremely fond of her for years.
Extremely fond? Ouch. That doesn't sound great.
Beverly picks up on it immediately. It feels lukewarm. Second best. Like something you'd say about a sister, maybe. She actually pushes him, makes him say, "I love you."
Does he?
He does, but the damage is kind of done. That initial phrase, extremely fond, lingers. Her doubt remains.
Then the timing. Why propose now?
This is where it gets really painful for Beverly. He says the idea first occurred to him 8 years ago when he painted that picture of her, the girl in the blue and white dress.
Okay, that sounds promising.
But then he admits he forgot about it until quite recently. He says he only re-examined the idea of marrying her lately.
Oh no, so the implication is...
That he only thought about marrying Beverly again after Sarah became engaged to Lowell, making Sarah unavailable. It basically confirms Beverly's worst fear. She's the consolation prize. The fallback.
That's rough. And just as this is happening, Franklin Lowell steps back in.
Yes, adding another layer of complication. Lowell hears about Beverly and Jeffrey's engagement, and he makes this incredibly grand and, frankly, quite strange offer.
What does he offer?
He offers to pay for Jeffrey's London art exhibition as a wedding present to Beverly.
Wait. Lowell is paying for his rival's big break. The rival who might be in love with his fiancée.
Exactly. Think about it. A London show is the one thing Jeffrey, the poor artist, desperately needs to make a name for himself, to become financially stable enough to marry. Well, anyone. It's the key to his future.
And Lowell knows this. And he dislikes Jeffrey.
Oh, yeah. They both admit they don't like each other. Lowell is very candid about it. He tells Beverly, "I don't much like him either."
So why do it?
He says, "But I do believe in Revian as an artist, and I do like you as a person." His stated reason is pragmatic. If we can turn your Jeffrey into a successful and prosperous portrait painter before your wedding day, so much the better.
He wants Beverly to have a financially secure husband, even if it's Jeffrey.
It seems so. It's this bizarre mix of pragmatism, wanting her provided for, and maybe something deeper, rooted in that long-held admiration for her picture. He's investing in his rival, purely for her benefit.
It shows how much influence Beverly already has over Lowell, doesn't it? He's willing to bankroll the competition just for her sake.
Absolutely. This is not the act of a cold, calculating fiancé thinking only of himself.
Mhm.
It suggests his feelings for Beverly, or at least his concern for her well-being, are already very strong. It's bordering on protective.
Okay, so Beverly's engaged to Jeffrey, but suspects she's second choice. Lowell is funding Jeffrey's career despite disliking him for Beverly's sake. The whole situation feels incredibly fragile.
It is. And it all comes crashing down at a charity dance. Lady Wellman's dance.
It happens.
Beverly's there, actually feeling quite good about herself for a moment. She's wearing a dress she designed and made, feeling successful. She steps out in the garden for some air.
And sees something she shouldn't.
The fatal glimpse, yes. Down a path, in the moonlight, she sees Sarah and Jeffrey,
Oh no.
clasped in each other's arms,
Yeah.
kissing. And she recognizes the dress Sarah's wearing. It's one she made. There's no mistake.
So all her suspicions are confirmed in the most brutal way possible.
Absolutely. Her engagement is clearly a sham. Jeffrey's heart belongs to Sarah. She's devastated.
What does she do?
She collapses onto a bench, sobbing quietly, trying to pull herself together. And guess who finds her there?
It has to be Lowell.
Franklin Lowell, yes. That immense vitality is suddenly focused entirely on comforting her. He sees she's upset, presses her gently about what's wrong.
Does she tell him the truth? That Jeffrey was kissing his fiancée?
No. She confesses that Jeffrey was kissing someone else, but Lowell is sharp. He probably senses there's more to it. He might even suspect who.
So Beverly has to protect Lowell from that humiliation.
In a split second, yes. To stop him finding out the other woman was Sarah, his own fiancée, she improvises this lie. She claims the woman Jeffrey was kissing was married already.
Oh, wow. So she paints Jeffrey as messing around with a married woman instead.
It's a desperate move. She chooses a different kind of scandal, one that protects Lowell's pride, even if it makes Jeffrey look worse. It's driven by self-preservation, but also this unexpected shred of kindness towards Lowell.
Does Lowell buy it?
He seems to accept it, yes,
Mm-hmm.
but he's clearly concerned for Beverly. He advises her to get Jeffrey away from the area right after the exhibition, basically saying, breaking up a marriage is messy business.
So Beverly's juggling this awful truth and now this dangerous lie she's told Lowell.
Exactly. And while she's dealing with that emotional wreckage, the entire foundation of the conflict just shifts. Dramatically.
How so?
Jeffrey's father,
Yeah.
the wealthy draper he was estranged from, he falls seriously ill,
Okay.
and he asks to see Jeffrey. They have a complete reconciliation.
No way. So Jeffrey is suddenly...
No longer the poor artist. He's now the accepted only son of a wealthy father. His father is eager to mend fences, even wants to finance Jeffrey's career himself. He's actually annoyed that Lowell interfered.
This changes everything. The main reason Sarah couldn't be with Jeffrey, his poverty is just gone. Vanished overnight.
Completely gone. Jeffrey is now rich. He's a viable, even desirable husband in their world.
Which must terrify Beverly.
Intensifies her fears, absolutely. Because now Jeffrey doesn't need her loyalty, her willingness to endure poverty. He can actually afford to be with Sarah, the woman he was just caught kissing.
So the path is clear for them.
It seems so. And sure enough, the next thing that happens is Sarah breaks off her engagement to Franklin Lowell.
Right on cue.
Yeah.
How does her family react?
Mrs. Wayne is devastated, naturally, and Madeline, the sister. Her immediate reaction is pure Wayne. She worries if Lowell will now pull the funding for her year at the Dramatic Academy.
Always back to the money.
Always. For them, every emotional upheaval has an immediate financial consequence.
Did Sarah know about Jeffrey's new wealth when she broke it off with Lowell?
That's a critical point.
No.
She didn't. She tells Beverly she broke it off simply because she never loved Lowell and couldn't face marrying him, couldn't do the substitute thing.
So she acted out of principle in the end.
Yes. But she also confirms to Beverly that Jeffrey, as a poor artist, just wouldn't do. She admits the family needed the money too badly. It confirms Beverly's earlier thought that Sarah, despite her feelings, had a practical, maybe even hard streak. She wouldn't marry Lowell, but she wouldn't have married a poor Jeffrey either. #tag6. The ultimate sacrifice and the dangerous lie.
Okay, so Sarah is free. Jeffrey is now rich and free. Beverly knows Jeffrey loves Sarah. What does she do?
She realizes she has to end her own engagement to Jeffrey. She sees it with absolute clarity. She needs to set him free so he can be with Sarah.
That's incredibly selfless, but complicated, right? Because of Jeffrey's father.
Deeply complicated. Mr. Rivian Sr.'s health is still fragile. He just reconciled with Jeffrey, and a big part of that reconciliation was his approval of Beverly as a future daughter-in-law.
So if Beverly breaks it off and makes Jeffrey look bad, it could upset the father again. Risk the inheritance, the funding.
Exactly. Jeffrey needs his father's continued support now more than ever. So Beverly decides she can't just dump Jeffrey or appear to be the one who is dumped. It has to look amicable, mutual.
How does she manage that?
She tells Jeffrey they need to break it off, but she frames it as a mutual decision. And then she tells him the crucial lie, that she has also found someone else she wants to marry.
Wow. Taking the fall, essentially. How does Jeffrey react?
His reaction is described as half puzzled, half relieved.
Relieved. That says it all, doesn't it?
It really does. He calls her his dearest and most wonderful friend, which, just confirms everything Beverly suspected about how he truly saw her. But the main thing is, he's free. Clean break. He can now pursue Sarah without any guilt or complications.
But Beverly still has to convince the father.
Yes. She goes to see Mr. Revian Sr. She repeats the story. Mutual split. They both found other people. But the old man is protective of her. He wants to know she'll be okay. He presses her for the name of this supposed new fiancé. Says he won't be happy with just a general statement.
So she's cornered. She has to name someone.
Maximum pressure. She needs a name that's impressive, respectable, someone Mr. Revian Sr. would instantly approve of, to make the whole story believable and ensure Jeffrey's relationship with his father stays smooth.
And she chooses.
Under immense duress, she names the most prominent, influential man she can think of, who fits the bill. Franklin Lowell.
Franklin Lowell. The man whose engagement to Sarah just ended. The man she just told a different lie to.
Yes, it's an incredible gamble. Mr. Revian Sr. is absolutely astonished. I mean, Franklin Lowell's a huge catch, but ultimately he's thrilled for her, calls it a very fine match. The lie works. For now.
But the potential consequences, they're huge.
Catastrophic potential. Beverly is now completely alone with this massive, dangerous secret. She even has to go back to work on Sarah's wedding trousseau, knowing it's now for Sarah's wedding to Jeffrey, the man she just let go.
Yeah.
The emotional strain must be unbelievable.
And then the lie gets out. How?
Oh, it's perfectly, painfully ironic. Little Tony Wayne again, the girl with the disconcerting knowledge. Mr. Revian Sr., absolutely delighted by Beverly's news, tells Tony the secret about Beverly being engaged to Lowell.
No!
Yes. And Tony, thrilled with this juicy gossip, is getting a ride home from school.
Let me guess. With Franklin Lowell.
With Franklin Lowell himself. And she immediately blurts out the amazing news. Beverly is going to marry him.
Oh, the absolute horror for Beverly when she realizes that.
Can you imagine? Her carefully constructed lie, told to protect everyone else, has now reached the one person it could utterly destroy her reputation with. She assumes Lowell must think she fabricated the engagement, made it all up. She feels she looks cheap, presumptuous. She's convinced she's lost his respect, his good opinion, forever. #Tag7, the unexpected final pairing.
So Beverly is in despair. She thinks Lowell must despise her for this perceived manipulation. She feels she has to confess the whole messy truth.
Right, she's bracing herself for that incredibly awkward, humiliating conversation. But Lowell's reaction isn't what she expects at all.
What does he do?
Well, he seeks her out. First, he actually stops by her house.
Oh.
Apparently, Aunt Ellen is quite taken with him, his success and energy.
Even Aunt Ellen. He must be impressive.
Seems so. Then later, he calls Beverly away from her work at the Grange. He says he heard about her broken engagement to Jeffrey. He heard that from the Waynes and wanted to check on her.
Okay. That sounds concerned. Caring, even.
Yes. And he also brings up Madeline Wayne's situation. Madeline had apparently asked Beverly to ask Lowell if he was still going to pay for her drama school.
Ah, the perfect excuse for Beverly to go see him and clear the air about the lie.
Exactly. It gives her the opening she needs, or thinks she needs. She goes to his home, Ethorpe Hall, fully intending to confess and apologize.
That something stops her.
Before she even gets to the confession, she notices something significant in his study.
The painting.
The paintings. The big, beautiful portrait of Sarah Wayne, his former fiancée, is gone.
Gone. Where?
He tells her he felt Sarah should have it back now that she was free. And in its place, hanging where Sarah's portrait used to be. It's the portrait of Beverly, the little girl in the blue and white dress. He says he finds her portrait very good company.
Wow. Okay, that's a massive statement. He's literally replaced the image of his fiancée with the image of Beverly he's cherished for years.
It confirms everything, doesn't it? His deep, enduring connection is to her, to that ideal of sanity and innocence she represented for him. The ideal has won out over the pragmatic reality of the engagement he just ended.
So Beverly sees this. She must be reeling. Does she still try to explain the lie?
She's still caught in that loop, intending to confess, But Lowell doesn't give her the chance. He interrupts her stammering, he embraces her, and he tells her how much he cares for her. Sincerely.
He's not angry about the supposed engagement Tony told him about.
Not at all. He's acting on this sudden, powerful realization, this impulse driven by affection.
But Beverly doesn't trust it.
She can't believe it. She's still trapped by her guilt and the lie. She thinks he must be acting out of pity or some kind of misplaced chivalry because of what Tony said. She actually accuses him of pretending, of being quixotic, acting overly generous or noble.
Playing the patron again.
Exactly. And this is what finally makes Lowell angry. Genuinely angry. He completely rejects that idea, refuses to be cast in that ridiculous role.
And then he tells her the real truth.
Yes, he confesses he loves her. He admits it took him a horribly, ridiculously long time to see what was right in front of him. And Tony's news. It wasn't the reason he felt generous. It was the trigger for his realization.
How does he put it?
He says Tony telling him Beverly was marrying him was like a blind man finding all at once that he could see. The news didn't make him feel sorry for her. It made him realize his own deep-seated feelings, the love that had been growing, rooted in that connection to her portrait all along.
So hearing she was marrying him didn't sound crazy or presumptuous to him, because deep down that's what he'd started to want.
Precisely. It wasn't a shock, because it aligned with this unconscious desire that Tony's words suddenly brought into focus.
The irony is just incredible. Her lie, told out of desperation and to protect others, ended up being the catalyst for his own self-discovery and their happiness.
It's beautifully constructed. She thought she was inventing a disaster, but she accidentally invented his and her own happy ending.
So how does it finally resolve? Does she confess the lie?
She does finally explain the whole complicated story, why she had to name someone, why she chose him, because he was the most respected person she knew in that moment of panic.
And Lowell's reaction.
He accepts it completely. More than accepts it, he finds it incredibly touching. He says, I was the man who came naturally into your mind at that moment. You couldn't have said a sweeter thing, my darling.
So her desperate choice of him as the safe harbor actually proved her underlying trust and regard for him.
Exactly. It confirmed for him that she saw him as reliable, respectable, the ultimate safe bet. In that moment, he truly won the girl in the blue dress, the embodiment of sanity he'd admired for so long. And Beverly, finally understanding, admits she loves him too. #ManShake8. Conclusion and takeaways. When you look back, the ending feels almost whiplash fast, doesn't it? Beverly confesses, Lowell reveals his love, the lie dissolves, boom. But it's the perfect climax after all that slow burn tension and misdirection.
Yeah, and we end up with these two couples perfectly matched in the end, but they got there through the most roundabout, economically tangled, and frankly stressful route imaginable.
Totally. Jeffrey and Sarah get their happy ending because the money problem disappeared. Jeffrey gets his father's backing for his art. Sarah gets to marry for love without bankrupting her family. Their happiness is ultimately built on, well, commerce solving the problem.
They become the romantic pragmatists, in a way.
You could say that. Meanwhile, Beverly and Franklin find their happiness through something else entirely. That long-distance admiration via the painting, and then this bizarre honesty triggered by a lie.
It really highlights Lowell's character, doesn't it? He was drawn to the idea of Beverly first.
Yes, that sane, lovable child in the portrait. That idealization was so strong that the reality of her social position, or even the confusing lie about the engagement, didn't matter as much as the confirmation of her essential character.
The painting and the lie were the keys.
Absolutely. The painting represented the ideal sanity, innocence, and the lie, paradoxically, confirmed her resourcefulness and her trust in him. He saw her as his little girl grown up, and that image, combined with her real-world competence as a cutter, just clicked for him.
It's fascinating how the roles almost flip, too. Jeffrey, the supposed romantic artist, ends up needing wealth to secure his pragmatic love, Sarah.
Right. And Franklin Lowell, the millionaire industrialist everyone assumed was making a pragmatic match, turns out to be the deep-down sentimental romantic, valuing an old painting and an idealized notion of character over everything else.
So, thinking about the bigger picture here, and maybe something for you, the listener, to consider. Well, despite all the intense financial and social pressures on Sarah and Madeline and Jeffrey, it's Beverly who ends up with the biggest prize, both materially and emotionally. And she was the one least focused on gaining wealth or status. She just wanted to work and, initially, marry her poor artist.
That's a really interesting point. Does genuine happiness, then, mean you have to sort of shed those practical ambitions? Rely on just being true to yourself and letting fate handle the rest.
Or was Beverly just incredibly lucky? Was her selfless act, her lie, just coincidentally the perfect thing to unlock a rich man's hidden fantasy?
It's hard to say definitively, isn't it? But the story certainly suggests that the path to happiness isn't always straightforward. It's not always paved with careful planning or even good intentions. Sometimes, maybe, it's an unexpected consequence, a lie told under pressure that ends up rewriting everything for the better.
Definitely something to think about, how hidden truths and unexpected connections can shape our lives in ways we never see coming.